Yeah. I just want you to know that Tzvika, lucky he doesn't remember what happened. But I can just tell you that you forgot that everybody out. We were the only ones who shut down on that Shabbos.
I know. I'm glad you didn't bring that up.
Oh no, I wasn't. Listen, I didn't want to bring up also the wedding last night that everybody was there without masks and everything.
What wedding?
Yeah, there was a wedding last night. It's all over the news. It's the biggest Chilul Hashem going.
Did you see the footage, Walter?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's
what
unbelievable.
What
such a Chilul Hashem.
By Mandelbaum made a wedding.
Which Mandelbaum?
His son, what's his name?
Mishy's daughter, no? Mishy Mandelbaum's daughter.
Mishy Mandelbaum. It's
Shapiro.
Yitzchak's daughter. So they had a wedding last night up in Homely Hills, and they had ABC helicopters flying over. They saw everything. Everybody, no masks, hardly anybody with a mask. Everybody dancing together, 200 people. And now they stopped all weddings in homes now. All kinds of things happen from the big Chilul Hashem.
Or they're going to turn off the power.
And they had the police there. Don't ask what went on.
Yeah, and it was broadcasted on national.
My son-in-law, his brother got married in the backyard with 10 people. With Rabbi Przansky, there were 2 Eidim, and Richard Polavoy, my mechutin, and they made a wedding with 10
but Ernie, unfortunately, there was a precedent set for this particular thing already in the past, and you know which one.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, you know.
You don't know.
154. Now, tomorrow, we can learn in the morning if you want, or like we've been doing in the afternoon, whatever you guys want to do.
We can do morning.
I prefer the morning.
8:30?
8:30 is good for me.
It's late for me.
It's too late for me. The latest I could do is 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, okay.
Mario, does that work for you at 8 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. So Kuf Nun Dalet. Rav Zvid Masni Hachi. On Rabbi Racham, Amachamer Achar Be'ema B'Shabbos. If you load an animal with a load on Shabbos, B'Shogeg Ein Chayav Chatas. B'Mezid Chayav Spina. So what Mosiv Rav Amachalos Shabbos B'Davar Shachayav Nashigos Chatas. If you're Amachalos Shabbos B'Shogeg Ein Chatas Chayav Azdon Skila. Ha'ein chayav nashigos chatas, but if you don't get a chatas, ein chayav nazdon skila. How can you say get skila? So the Gemara says, "Mik toni ha'ein chayavin." They didn't say ein chayavin; only talked about the chayavin side of it. Achi kamer davar shechayav nashigos chatas. When you do a malach on Shabbat, if you did it b'shur, you get a chatas chayav nazdon skila. The yesh davar, there is a malacha she'ein chayavin al shigos chatas. You do not bring a chatas if you're a shogeg. The chayav al donos kilo ma'niu mechamer. However, the Rambam paskins osur lahotzi masa shel beima b'Shabbos. Shenema, you're not allowed to take out. You're not allowed to your animal to load him up with a burden on Shabbos. Shenemar lamanya nuach shorov chamarecha. V'im hotzi gabe beima ein a loke. You don't get malchus. Lefisha iser ba michlal asay, because lamanya nuach leficha chamachan rachabeim to b'Shabbos kivin shuatz malasa ma'isa potter of a loser. You didn't do a ma'isa, your animal did it. You're not chai, and we're going to see that in the next Gemara. Rava achua de Rav Mori bar Rachel. Rava, who either was the brother of Rav Mori bar Rachel, the Ami Lavud Rav Mori bar. Some say was the father of Mori bar Rachel. Why is he called Mori bar Rachel? Because his mother was taken prisoner by a pirate and raped, and then the guy who raped her converted to Yiddishkeit and became. But since at the time that her mother was Jewish, right? So he's called Rav Mori Bar Rachel because they didn't want to be miyachasim after his father. Now, Lishta Basra Kasha had Rav Achshel Rav Mori Bar Rachel Umanya before Tzidei Bavel. So they asked Rav, how did he appoint Rav Mary to be an officer in Bavel? Because anyone who's from a ger is not a full Jew, is not supposed to be appointed to be an officer. So the Gemara says, Dilma Tre Mori Bar Rachel. Maybe there were two Mori Bar Rachel. He said that the lav of Machamer makes you potter. On Rav Yochanan, HaMachamer Achar Be'amto B'Shabbos potter miklum. If you cause an animal to schlep a burden on Shabbos, you're potter. B'shogig lo machayv chates. You're not chayv chates to hook shekol Torah kul avodah zara, because all cases where you bring a chates have to be comparable to avodah zara, where you did a personal maisa. Here, you didn't do a personal maisa. The animal did the maisa. B'meizid nami lo machayev desnana machalas haShabbos b'dover shechayav nal shigig chatas v'azdonu skila. When do you get skila? Only when you're machalos Shabbos, where if you do it to shogeg, you get a chatas. Ha ein chayav nal shigig chatas. But if you're not chayav chatas, ein chayav v'azdonu skila, then you don't get capital punishment. Since we already proved that you don't get a chatas because it's not similar to avodah zarah because you don't do a maisa, you can't get skila. Says the Gemara, b'lav nami lo machayev. The havilav shenitn lazar's misas bezdin. This lav is connected to lo sasa malacha. Normally lo sasa malacha gives you misas bezdin, gives you capital punishment. The chol lav shenitn lazar's misas bezdin ain't like in a lav. You don't get malchus either. So you're potter miklum. There's no chiyuv avon. V'afil laman domer loikin lichter v'chman lo sasa kom lacha uvehemtecha. According to Mandomer, it says you do get malchus, even if the lav is connected to a capital punishment lav. The Torah should have said, you don't do any work, lo taseh kom lacha uvemtecha, on your animal. But it didn't say that. It said, lo taseh kom lacha ata uvehemtecha. Ata lamali, hu niu de machayev, behemto lo machayev. To tell you, you as the human being, if you do a malacha, you will be chayiv. But if your behemah does the act, you will not be chayiv. Then the Mishnah said, once you get into a chotzer in the city, you can dismount the animal with all of the items on the animal. If the animal is carrying glassware and you just you unconnect the bird and you let it fall to the ground, it's going to break. Maybe you can bring pillows, bring it underneath the donkey, and then when the glassware falls, it won't break. You undo the ropes and it falls on its own without touching it because the items are muktzah. Frag the Gemara vanan. It's not noitel sakel mani told b'Shabbos. Why is glassware considered muktzah? You should be able to unload it with your hand. This is glassware that was used to draw blood from people. The lochaz, it wouldn't be able to be used for anything else because it's mo'us. It's muktzah machmas mo'us. It's muktzah. That's why you couldn't touch them directly. Now, once this glassware falls on the pillows, you won't be able to use the pillows because the pillows are a basis l'dover muktzah. V'akamavatal kli mechano. Where it says b'shlifi zutri. They're small, and you can sort of pull, dump the pillows and they'll fall off. If the animal was carrying untithed produce or glassware, you undo the ropes everything falls on its own. Afal pisha mishtabrin. Even though they break, that means this brisa says you're not allowed to bring the pillows. Where answers hasam bakulsa. Because this is talking about already sort of small glass pieces, which can be used for whatever you're going to use the small glass pieces for. So in a kanami, you don't care if it breaks. They kanami, the tani dumi the tevel. Ma tevel lo chazi lei, afa kanami lo chazi lei. Because it's not, it's used for building material, so you're not going to touch it anyways. Umay afa pishin in shtabri. Because ma the same lehefsid muat nami chashushu. Maybe you're allowed to bring pillows and be mavatal the kli mechono even for a small financial loss. Kamash malon that you're not allowed to. If the animal is carrying a bunch of grain, you can slide it off with your head. You can push it off as long as you don't push it off with your hand. You push it off with your head, it can work. No fail mela. However, Chamor from Gamliel, the donkey from Gamliel, Haisa to Una Dvash, was schlepping honey, and he left it on the donkey until Motzei Shabbos. Loratz lefork at Motzei Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos Mesa, Motzei Shabbos, the animal died. How come you just didn't remove the honey? The honey shouldn't be muktzah. Or it says kishi hidbish. The honey was ruined. So if the honey got ruined, what is he schlepping it in for? Hidbish lamai chazi. L'ksisa de gamli was some kind of medicine for camel sores. How come he didn't undo the ropes and let the bags fall? Because mitzvah ruziki, the various jugs that are holding in the honey are going to break. Let them bring pillows so they won't break. But then the pillows will get dirty. And kimavato kli mechono, you won't be able to use the pillows. But the Gemara doesn't understand. Vayikat tzar balechayim. Tzar balechayim is midaraisa. How can you let him stand there whole Shabbos? Ksaver tzar balechayim drabanon. This mandomer held that tzar balechayim was midrabanon. We paskin tzar balechayim is minat Torah. We hold that tzar balechayim is midoraisa. Abaya ashkachei l'rava de komishav sheflei lebrei agaba de chamra. Abaya found Rabba was playing with his child on the back of a chamor. Omer le komishtamish mar balechayim. You're not allowed to ride a donkey. It's a gzeira because you're going to pull a stick off of a tree to use as a whip. So you're not yet to do any touch. You're not used to use the animal at all. Omerle, that's you can't sit on it. But I'm playing on the sides of the animal. Stodin heim. Utstodin lagozer rabbanon. The chacham were not gozer by the sides of the animal. Minot temra. Where do you see that they were not gozer? It's not. Mater chavolim basakim noiflim. Because we learned that you're allowed to undo the ropes that were holding the pack, and they fall by themselves. We're talking about that these things were tied on the sides of the animal, and it's a proof that you can touch the sides. Where's this low? Which is some kind of connection that's in the top of the animal. The law would study. Or inami belekta, or some kind of lock. All I have to do is undo the lock. Eitzvei, shtayim bidei adam, the achas be'ilam kshera. If you build a sukkah, two of them with walls, and the third wall is a tree, and you lay the schach on top of the two walls in the tree, It's kosher, but vein oil labiyon. You're not allowed to go into such a sukkah on Yom Tov because you cannot be mishtamesh with the schach, and the schach is lying on the trees. You can't climb a tree on Yom Tov, so you can't use it on Yom Tov. My love, the chak baby ilan. So this Gemara wants to say because you mounted the schach on the sides of the tree, davlut studim would studim asur. Yet you see the sides are asur. What's as low? The kafilat, you bent the tree, and you put the tree not on the sides, but on the top of the tree. And to come a mashresh bilan, you're actually using the tree. Then we don't understand the seifa. Shalosh bidei adam. Let's say 3 walls were made by you. Va'achas be'ilim ksheira ve'olin lo b'yontiv. And you're allowed to go into such a sukkah on Yom Tov. Either kafi le'ilim, but if now you use the tree on my olin lo b'yontiv, you have the same problem. So elamai, what are you going to tell me? It's study masurin. So for my olin lo b'yontiv, then still, why could you go into such a sukkah on Yom Tov? Elahasam begava parsakna. You actually used a very thick tree. The tree itself was the wall. You didn't the tree itself, it's not, you didn't put wood in the side of the tree, you didn't bend the tree over. The tree itself is the wall. The ilan gufei doifen ba'amahu deshavia. And so what? The dekanami diktani zakla kol ilushin sheyinati la ilavi kol lamod. If you remove the tree and the sukkah can stand with the schach, because the schach is sitting on 3 of the other walls, doesn't need the tree. So then oil lo b'yontav shema mina. So the Gemara wants to say lema kitanoi. Perhaps this whole issue of the sukkah is the machlokas tanoi. Ein oil lo b'yontav. Says the Tanakama, Rav Shimon Lozer Omer Mishum Rab Meir Oilin Labiyot. My Labakamifaki. The Marsav studying Asurin. Perhaps the one who says you can't go in because the sides are us, Umar Sav Mutorim, Omra Bayalo. The Kula Amit studying Asurin. The sides are all, everyone holds it's Asur. Hacha B'tzidate studying Kamifaki. When we put the schach on the tzad, it's called the tzidate study. Marsav B'tzidate studying Asurin, Marsav B'tzidate studying Mutorim. Rava Omer Manda Asur B'tzidin. The one who answered by sides, also nami b'tzidet study. Man deshar b'tzidet study, shar nami b'tstudin. And that's the two extreme. So the halacha is sukkah she'asad fanoiseh v'ilonois. If you use the tree for one of your walls, ksheira. But if you do it, that if you remove the tree, the sukkah can't stand, then you can't use it on Yom Tov. You could use it on Chol HaMoed. The only reason there's an Isser Lishtamish is B'Yom Tov and Shabbos, but not Chol HaMoed. Okay, we'll stop here. And we'll gather again at 8 in the morning.
Okay, shkoyach.
Shkoyach. Have a good night.